Centimeter Punk just looked LA Knight dead in the eyes and told him he's been riding coattails his entire career. And before Knight could even respond, Jey Uso walked out and called both of them pretenders to a throne that belongs to the bloodline. The arena exploded. Chicago went absolutely nuclear. And what happened next? It might have just rewritten the entire road to the next premium live event. You think you know where this is going? You don't. Because what we witnessed last night on Raw wasn't just another confrontation. It was a collision of three of the most volatile egos in WWE today, and somebody's championship dreams just got shattered in front of millions. Let me paint you the picture of how this powder keg ignited, because if you missed even 30 seconds of this segment, you missed the moment that's going to define the next 2 months of Monday Night Raw. The show opened with Adam Pearce in the ring. Standard stuff, right? Wrong. Pearce looked like a man who'd been awake for 3 days straight dealing with chaos backstage. He grabbed that microphone with the kind of grip that told you he was about to drop a bomb, and drop it he did. Due to recent events and the competitive nature of our roster, tonight I'm announcing a triple threat #1 contenders match for the he didn't even finish. Centimeter Punk's music hit, and you could feel the electricity surge through that building like someone just flipped every switch in Chicago at once. Punk walked out with that look. You know the one. That I'm about to say something that's going to make the internet implode look. The man is a walking controversy magnet, and he was about to prove why he's still the most dangerous microphone in professional wrestling. Punk snatched a mic before he even reached the ring. Adam, let me stop you right there, because I know exactly what you're about to say, and I know exactly who you're about to name in this little match of yours. And I'm here to tell you, and everyone watching, that this whole thing, it's a joke. Quick question before we continue, do you think Centimeter Punk has earned the right to call himself the #1 contender, or is he cutting the line? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I want to see how divided this fan base really is. Now, Pearce tried to maintain control. He really did. Punk, if you just let me finish, yeah. LA Knight's music crashed through the speakers like a freight train through a paper wall. The place went insane. Knight strutted out with all the confidence of a man who knows his money, and he had his microphone ready before his music even stopped. Hold on. Did I just hear Centimeter Punk, the same Centimeter Punk who spent the last however many months crying about respect and legacy? Did I just hear him call something a joke? Brother, let me tell you what's a joke. What's a joke is you thinking you deserve anything before LA Knight gets his hands on what's rightfully his. Yeah, the crowd was torn. Half of them were chanting for Punk. The other half were eating up every word Knight was serving. This is what pro wrestling is supposed to feel like. This is that energy that makes you jump off your couch. Punk's face, stone cold. Look at this. Look at this guy. LA Knight, the man who thinks because he can string together catchphrases, that makes him main event material. You're a hashtag. You're a t-shirt. You're everything that's wrong with this business. Style over substance, flash over fight. Oh, it was on. Knight started walking down that ramp, and Punk stepped toward the ropes. Security started positioning themselves because you could see where this was heading. These two were about to throw down right there in the opening segment. But then the lights shifted, that music hit, and the entire arena lost their minds. Jey Uso emerged like a force of nature, and suddenly this wasn't a two-man argument anymore. This was about to become a war on 3 fronts. Jey had a mic, and he had something to say. UCE. Both y'all out here talking about who deserves what? Both y'all acting like the bloodline don't exist? Like I ain't been running through everybody put in front of me? Like I ain't the same man who Punk cut him off? The bloodline? The bloodline? Gee, I watched you play sidekick for 2 years. I watched you stand in Roman's shadow and nod your head like a bobblehead doll. Now you wanna talk about being the guy? You're not ready for this conversation. And that's when the Chicago crowd hit Punk with a mixed reaction. Because whether you love him or hate him, Punk just disrespected a man who's been busting his tail to prove he's more than Roman Reigns' cousin. And the wrestling world felt that. Knight jumped back in. Both of y'all are living in the past. Punk, you came back acting like it's 2011. Gee, you came out of your cousin's shadow 5 minutes ago. Meanwhile, LA Knight has been carrying this company on his back, entertaining millions, he pointed to the crowd, and millions of LA Knight fans. The 3 of them were now in the ring. Triangle formation. Each one staring at the other 2, and you could cut the tension with a knife. Adam Pearce looked like he regretted every decision that led to this moment. The referee crew was on standby. This was about to break down into absolute chaos. Punk spoke next, and his voice was low. Dangerous. You want to know what the difference is between me and both of you? I've been the guy. I've carried companies. I've sold out arenas on my name alone. You too? You're trying to convince people you belong in the same sentence as me. And that's adorable. It really is. Jey stepped forward. You think, Knight cut him off. Nobody cares what you think, Uso. And Jey snapped. He shoved Knight. Knight shoved back. Punk backed up and watched with this smirk on his face like he just orchestrated the whole thing. The crowd was on their feet. Chants of "Fight Forever" started echoing through the arena. Security flooded the ring. Pierce was screaming into his headset, and these three superstars were being pulled apart like rabid animals, each one trying to break free and get their hands on the others. When order was finally restored, barely, Adam Pearce made it official. You want to tear each other apart? Fine. Next week on Raw, it's happening. Centimeter Punk vs LA Knight vs Jey Uso. Triple threat match. Winner becomes the #1 contender. Now get out of my ring. None of them left. They just stood there, staring each other down. The message was clear. Next week, someone's career trajectory changes forever. Someone proves they belong at the top, and someone gets humbled in front of the world. Listen, before we go any further, we have a quick request for you. We're constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we'd truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. We're building something special here, and you're a huge part of that. Now, let's get back into this. Here's what I need to know. If you had to put money on this triple threat match, who are you picking? Centimeter Punk with all his experience? LA Knight with his momentum? Or Jey Uso fighting to prove his more than just bloodline backup? Comment below with your prediction, and let's see who the Wrestling Zone Insider community is backing. Now, here's where this gets really interesting. Let's talk about what's at stake beyond just a #1 contender spot. Let's talk about legacies. For Centimeter Punk, this is about proving that his return wasn't just a nostalgia act. Every time he steps in that ring, he's fighting against the narrative that he's past his prime, that he should have stayed retired, that he can't hang with this new generation. A loss here? That's ammunition for every critic who's been waiting to say, "I told you so." For LA Knight, this is his moment. This is the one he's been clawing towards since he got to the main roster. He's the people's choice right now. The crowd loves him, but love doesn't win championships. Wins do. If he doesn't capitalize on this opportunity, if he doesn't prove he can hang with a legend like Punk and a warrior like Jey in a high-stakes match, then all that charisma means nothing. He becomes the guy who was almost great. And Jey Uso? This might be the most important match of his singles career. He's been fighting so hard to step out of Roman's shadow, to prove he's not just the twin or Roman's enforcer. He's trying to build his own legacy, write his own story, but the wrestling world is watching with skeptical eyes. Can he really carry a main event program on his own? Can he stand toe-to-toe with Centimeter Punk, one of the best ever, and LA Knight, the hottest act in WWE right now, and come out on top? The psychological warfare has already begun. Did you notice how Punk played them against each other? How he stood back and let Knight and Jey go at it while he calculated his next move? That's veteran ring psychology. That's the mind of a man who's been in these situations 100 times. But Knight and Jey aren't idiots. They saw what Punk was doing, and that's what makes this so dangerous. This isn't just about who's the better wrestler. This is about who's the smarter competitor. Who can manipulate the chaos? Who can turn a triple threat environment, where anyone can steal a win at any moment, to their advantage? After the segment ended, reporters caught up with all three men backstage. Punk was calm, almost too calm. He looked into the camera and said, "Next week, I'm going to remind everyone why they chanted my name for 7 years while I was gone." Those two don't know what they are walking into. LA Knight was fired up, cutting a promo in the hallway that was pure electricity. Centimeter Punk wants to talk about the past. Cool. I'm about the future. And the future is LA Knight as #1 contender. Yeah. Jey Uso wants to prove he's his own man? He's gonna have to go through me to do it. And brother, that ain't happening. Jey Uso's interview was different. He was focused, intense. I'm tired of people doubting me. Tired of people acting like I can't do this without Roman, without Jimmy, without the bloodline. Next week, I'm showing the whole world what Jey Uso can do when everything's on the line. And it ain't gonna be pretty for them. Real talk, is Jey Uso being underestimated going into this match? Are people sleeping on him because of his bloodline past? Drop a comment and let me know if you think he's got a legitimate shot at winning this thing, or if he's just there to take the pin. Social media went absolutely nuclear after this segment. Twitter was trending worldwide. Raw, CM Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso were all in the top 10. Wrestling forums crashed. YouTube reaction channels were uploading videos within minutes. This is the kind of segment that reminds everyone why pro wrestling is still one of the most captivating forms of entertainment on the planet. The best part? Everyone has a different take. Some people think Punk's arrogance is going to cost him. Others think Knight's riding high on charisma but lacks the big match experience to pull this off. And then there's a contingent of fans who believe Jey Uso is about to shock the world and cement himself as a main event player. That's the beauty of this setup. There's no clear favorite. There's no obvious outcome. Any of these three could win, and you could make a compelling case for all of them. Let's not forget the history between some of these guys either. Centimeter Punk and LA Knight have never faced off one-on-one in a WWE ring. That's fresh. That's new. That's the kind of dream match people fantasy book for years, and now it's happening as part of a triple threat with massive implications. Punk and Jey, they've got history through the Bloodline saga. Punk's been vocal about his opinions on Roman's reign, on the Bloodline's dominance, and now he's in the ring with one of the key members of that faction. There's real heat there, real animosity. Knight and Jey have crossed paths before, but never like this. Never with everything on the line. And the competitive fire between them? That's legitimate. You can see it in their eyes. They respect each other's talent, but they want to beat each other. Next week's Raw is going to be must-see television, because whoever wins this match isn't just getting a title shot. They are getting validation. They are getting their moment. They are getting to say, "I told you so" to everyone who doubted them. And whoever loses? The question marks start. The doubt creeps in. The narrative shifts. That's what makes professional wrestling so compelling. It's not just about moves and matches. It's about stories, legacies, and moments that define careers. Before we wrap this up, one more question for the Wrestling Zone Insider community. What do you think the finish looks like? Does Centimeter Punk hit the GTS on both guys? Does LA Knight land a BFT and steal the victory? Or does Jey Uso hit the Uso splash at the perfect moment and shock everyone? Paint me a picture in the comments. I want to hear your predictions. And hey, we have a quick request for you. We're constantly working to improve our content to earn your love and support. That's why we'd truly appreciate it if you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on Wrestling Zone Insider. We're covering every moment of this story, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Here's what I know for sure. Monday Night Raw just became the most important show on television for wrestling fans. Centimeter Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso are about to go to war, and only one of them is walking out as #1 contender. The question isn't who should win. The question is who will win. And the answer to that question is going to send shockwaves through the entire WWE landscape. So buckle up, Wrestling Zone Insider family. Next week, careers change, legacies are cemented, and someone's dream gets deferred. The real question is, whose dream is it going to be? This is Wrestling Zone Insider, and we'll see you in the comment section. Let's argue about it.